Well, I'd like to thank Charlie and the team for inviting me. Since I'm kind of happily semi-unemployed, it's nice to get a call from Charlie. But you know, it was a great morning session, so let's continue with that. We have some great speakers coming up, Karim from Google and Ken from Sino Weibo. Hope I said that right. But first of all, I'm just going to do a few slides to set the scene. And you know, the one thing that you've read in the program is how Asia Pacific now is in the #2 spot for digital advertising, which is amazing. So you can see the numbers there on the screen. But what's really nice is that when I talk about digital monetization, I'm no longer talking about this. Right? Do you remember these days? Do you remember the blinky, blinky, flashy, flashy? These were the 10 or 20, I don't know, best banner ads 10 years ago, according to Yahoo. And I'm very happy that we've moved on as an industry from this world. Okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. 6 themes, so to speak. If you manage Asia Pacific or you have an APAC role, you deal with this #1 issue all the time: fragmentation and diversity. It is a very complex region, right? And it makes our jobs tough. But this fragmentation also affects the #2 point, which is monetization lag. Especially if you're a publisher, your monetization always lags behind your audience growth. So you're supporting a lot of users on your platform, yet you're not monetizing against them as quickly in APAC. And there's many reasons for that. Mobile first. I don't think anyone in this room probably disagrees that mobile first is where we are in APAC. It is a mobile first market, right? Mobile is going to be very key, and you've seen that already today in this morning's presentations. Socially powered. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but social has really become the connective glue of all media, right? Content that needs to be shared. That great Johnny Walker example, The Voyager, where you take a physical presence and then you amplify it. That was a really good example of that. And e-commerce, surprisingly strong in Asia. I didn't know that. Friends at eMarketer gave me a bunch of slides, thankfully, which I'll be able to take you through today, and e-commerce for the region is coming up strong and quickly. The last one, Planet China. Okay, why do I have no words there? Because I'm not qualified to talk about China. I've opened a couple of businesses in China, and I actually think that unless you live in China, breathe, eat, sleep China, you really don't know what's going on in China. It becomes this gravitational pull, and whenever you see this map in my presentation of China, that means that the gravitational pull of Planet China is affecting the numbers that I'm presenting. So I'm glad that Ken is here, Ken Hong, to talk about China, because these are the people we need to listen to when thinking about China. All right, so in case there was any doubt, look at this chart in terms of handset penetration versus PC penetration. Then look at the bottom line, smartphone. You can add that to handset, and you can see without a shadow of a doubt that we're living in this mobile-first world, right? It is our future. Content will be consumed on mobile devices such as tablets and mobile phones going forward, period. In case you're questioning whether these mobile devices are connected to the internet, the answer is they are. As you can see here, the growth has again been phenomenal and will continue. Now, I'm really, really sick of this statement in question. It's like 2013, the year of mobile. Actually, it's been the year of mobile in Asia for a long time. And nobody ever says, like, what was the year of television? What was the year of print? What was the year of a bus shelter ad? But for some reason, this question is in our heads, and we always ask it. So we can stop asking it, because we know that it is the year of mobile. Be rest assured. Now, why is there a turtle on the screen? Well, the turtle signifies you are basically in Asia, your home is where you are. And your home tends to be where your phone is, because we tend to live in smaller dwellings in this part of the world. We're out and about, and mobility is really connecting us through our mobile phones to the internet, and that is an important theme to remember. Okay, so if we look at the numbers, there's the Planet China affecting the numbers. APAC, 2.3 billion. That's more, you know, than it's almost half the total of mobile phones on the planet, right? Again, China in 2014 will have 1 billion phones. It may already be at 1 billion according to some stats. So you can see mobile first, no doubt about it. But here's the monetization lag, right? We have all the mobile phones in Asia, a good chunk of them, 50%, but we don't have all the mobile ad revenue. That's that lag that exists because of the fragmentation, the diversity, right? That affects the numbers. So again, you have to ask yourself, is that going to, catch up? It probably will, but it takes time. And where is that monetization, right? Where is it happening? Japan, right? It's $2 billion of that, 3.2 total or whatever it was. So it's really important to understand where the money is for mobile advertising. But there's another point here. Mobile advertising is not the whole story. If you look at this famous Mary Meeker slide, you can see that apps are generating a lot of the monetization, right? I think it's 67%. So remember, if you're thinking about the mobile pie, think about apps as well. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. Social. I loved James Thompson's example, the Voyager ship, because that is taking content, socially enabling it so it's shareable, then amplifying the heck out of it with paid media. I actually think that's the trend now. People creating content, using your own channels to get it out there, earn to amplify it a little bit further, but if you really want to amplify it, put some paid media behind it, right? That earned, owned, paid needs to go together. Another way of thinking about it is, this was yesterday. We lived in a very TV-centric environment. TV was the center of every campaign. Of course, this is now switched. And I'm going to argue that social is now at the center of everything, right? Socially enabled content. Why should I share? Why should I care? Facebook always says that. Okay. Now, let's look at some numbers. Asia also has the bulk of the social media users, 45% of the world's total. Again, China has 366 million of those, and they're not on Facebook. Another lag. Monetization is lagging on social advertising spend. We have all the users in Asia, but we don't have all the spend. But the story here is interesting because you can see that in year on year, social advertising grew almost 50%, right? So it's catching up. So you have to invest ahead of the curve, right? If you want to get the users on the platform, you invest ahead of the curve. And when we look at the China number, it's the same trend, right? It's a different number, of course, but the growth is about 50%. Okay, e-commerce. This really surprised me. In APAC, we're already leading in terms of e-commerce revenue, because these are the dollars and cents that have been spent. 433 million. So, of course, it's coming from a small base. Indonesia is actually the fastest growing e-commerce market in the region, again from a small base. But if you're thinking about monetization and you're thinking about new revenue streams, you have to think about e-commerce. And this slide, I've probably used it a lot in the last year or so, but I think it's important that everyone realizes that the CMO is starting to spend money on technology. Marketing and technology have been fusing together for a long time now, but it's hit some sort of critical point because of two things. Social media, in order to really do social well, you need technology, right? You have to, the company that I was just at, Salesforce, really believes that technology and marketing are fusing together. But also, e-commerce, if you think about that, that takes a technical infrastructure. It takes time to prepare that. So again, by 2017, according to Gartner, watch for that CMO to be spending more money on technology. Okay, so I'm going to sum up, but the key takeaways is that you can't bite the whole Asian apple in one go. You have to start thinking about market clusters, organizing your business around specific clusters, right? Because you can't do all of Asia. APAC is a huge territory. And also the fact that monetization lags behind, right? And you have to set yourself up for success. And also, your mobile-first strategy needs to be done in APAC for APAC. Don't let HQ do your mobile strategy Asia's leading in mobile. The mobile strategy should be done here. Overinvest in social, because social is going to create impact on many more things than you could imagine. Social commerce, right? CRM, customer relationship management. I mean, nobody calls a 1-800 number to complain anymore. They go on Twitter and they go, "You suck." So there has to be a way to feed all those social channels to the right people at the right time in the organization. And then, of course, prepare your business for e-commerce today. It's coming. One last thing. This is a personal plug, really, not for me, but for some friends who are creating a very important Kickstarter campaign, a book about digital doesn't matter. Actually, Freddie, I think you're quoted there, but they're very close to their goal. Have a look at this, go to the URL, see if it's something you believe in, because they actually will provide you with the book for a donation. But check it out. If it's for you, great. If it's not, that's fine too. All right, that's it for the presentation, so I'm done that. So thank you very much. We're going to do a poll question, though. So everyone get out the app. You all have the app? All right. What percentage of your total media budget do you plan to invest in digital next year? Okay, this is a question that probably applies more to brand advertisers. If you're an agency and you pad the numbers, we'll know. We'll figure it out. So people have already voted. If you haven't voted, please vote, and I'll come back with the final results soon.